It is me. I'm making weird sounds. Yes. Faffing about trying to set things up and yeah. Shit. Welcome back. If you are new here, this isn't welcome back, this is welcome. We are continuing our Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Roses mod, Redux mod. And really, we've only got one goal, but if things go well, then we probably will wrap up the game anyway. Operation Defeat Yami Yugi. So I got experienced to the ridiculousness that is Yami Yugi in this game. Someone in the chat was being very sort of coy about it. They're like, oh, you ain't ready. Sure, it's fine. And I'm like, okay, all right. I'm like, don't tell me it's gonna be some gimmick. And I learned firsthand that he has a very annoying gimmick. But I think we can deal with it. I think that we can. Now, I was fishing for a dark hole, but because I had a little bit of a rant of what this mod did, which, no offense to the guy, but I mean, it's cool that he did this mod and all, but I still don't understand his logic behind what he did in terms of earning cards in this game. I'll be honest, but should have left it like the original, but I've been trying to, but I figured since he's made it like this, I decided to cheese the system because it's like, well, you've already modded it and made it worse, so I'm just gonna cheese it because you're not exactly making it easy on us. So, I mean, I guess this is supposed to be a more challenging game because when I was reading the notes and I saw how like they specifically were like, you should do this first because it's actually kind of structured for you to do this first. If you don't do this first and do the other side, you're gonna have a really hard time. I can see why. It does kind of suck, but at the same time, that's not too surprising because honestly, I think the original was kind of like that, where the other side was harder, but it was still doable. I could still do it, but it was probably the harder side. But now it just made it even harder, and it's like, well, alright. So, nothing much has changed, right? I was even thinking about creating a deck to go, like, just specifically to kind of around this whole Yugi gimmick. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I will explain the Yami Yugi gimmick in this game, in this mod, when we get to it. I just got to remember to play very safely. Yeah, I got a widespread ruin, and I was like, fuck it. Right? It's a useful trap. Mostly just got traps. I've been trying to get magic cards out of the reincarnation, but no dice. Just keep getting monsters, dude. Just keep getting monsters. And I'm like, I don't need monsters. I need magic cards. I mean, I do need traps, but I've got a decent amount of traps now. It's magic that I need. Right, I got parallelism potion. I don't think I had that last time, so I added that. But yeah, he's very gimmicky, and so we will see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. Yeah. So what I was fishing for was a dark hole because I feel like dark hole could be really, really, really good. In fact, I got a copycat from Rum Reincarnation, but I decided to re-roll. I was thinking about keeping the copycat because I forget because thing is, hit my mic. Thing is, Yami Yugi has Magician of Faith, and I'm almost certain that the effect is like you can get one spell card from, I'm guessing, your graveyard. I think it has to be your own graveyard. But apparently that works on traps as well, so it's kind of a lie. Really, it should have. I mean, unless Okay, that's what the TCG, the real card, does, if I remember correctly, because I have like a bunch of Magician of Faiths. You know, you can grab a spell card from your grave, but in this game, you could grab a spell or a trap card, which makes him very annoying because of his gimmick. And I was thinking, does Copycat work the same way? Even though it says spell, does it mean spell and trap? Because if it did, then I could have potentially have had fun sort of using his own gimmick against him. But I didn't really know if that was the case, and I was like, you know what, I just want to win. So I'm going to be very boring, and we're just going to try and play around his gimmick. Again, I was trying to fish for cards that could be an interesting, like, let's just like demolish him by countering his deck. And then I was like, the problem is that I have to duel so many times to get reincarnation, and I swear sometimes I'm fighting like 4 or 5 times, and then on the 5th time it doesn't reincarnate, and then I have to fight another like 6 or I don't fully understand how reincarnation works in this mod. It's weird. I don't really understand. Sometimes it just feels like I'll fight twice and then it'll come up, and then I'll fight 6 times and it'll come up, and I'm like, how does this work? I'm very confused. Maybe it's buggy. I don't know. Maybe you have to win specifically 5 times against one opponent. I don't know. Anyway, there's some things to talk about. We had a Nintendo Direct. I'm sure most people have seen it, but I'll talk about it a little bit because I doubt anyone would want to watch my stream. Trust me, and I'll tell you why as we get into it. But first, we got a king of games to take down. So let's take him down. Nothing's really changed outside of getting some traps and stuff, and you know, really. So again, we have to play around his gimmick. And that gimmick is he has a bunch of mirror walls. Now, mirror walls, remember correctly, you attack and mirror wall basically destroys all of your opponents. I don't think they have to be face up, but they have to be in attack position monsters. So I think if they're in defense, they're okay. They should be. Or is it just face up? I forget. But either way, that includes traps, I think. I don't think it's just monsters. I think if you have a trap on the field and it's facing up, I think that's what will happen. And that's his gimmick. Like right there, that could be, right? That could be a mirror wall, or that could be a Magician of Faith, or it could just be a trap. You know, he is very sort of, you know, passive at first, but he does have Magician of Black Chaos. He has like a few of them. What was that? That was obviously a monster, obviously, but like, would he have had enough star chips for like a Dark Magician? I don't know. I'll say no, but you could also just run over mirror force or mirror wall, right, with a card, but yeah, we'll do this. So we're trying to play around it. He has free, but Magician of Faith lets him get like 4 more. It's kind of silly. It's really silly, in fact. But I'm also thinking, right, that maybe I need to be a bit more aggressive, because there's only so many cards, right? There's only so many cards that you can put out. Do I want to do this? Yes, I do. Okay. Not a trap. Alright. Not a trap. And then if he attacks me, he'll get baited. Not a trap. Okay. Not a trap. Good. Alright. Oh, okay. Was that... I don't think that was the monster, was it? What was that? What was that? Oh, dark piercing light. He also has swords of revealing light. So yeah, that he has that as well. Let's do this. Let's move up. That it? Yep. So far, I'm trying to be aggressive to stop him from doing this whole gimmick. Oh, that's smart. Oh, that's very smart, actually. But too bad, because I'm in range, and I get a boost. Yeah, alright. Now, okay, do this. Do this. Do this. Ah, it's negate attack, okay. Alright. Alright. But I think it might be working. Honestly. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Like gunning him down. There's nothing on the field, so... Nothing on the field. What's he doing? Interesting. What is he doing? Okay. Do this. Do this. Do this. Do this. Oh, that's right. Okay, that's fine. Oh, Blackluster Soldier. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Alright. Thanks for that. Bam. Yeah, we're actually doing much better. Again, pinning him down seems to be a very good strat as well. So that's good to know. Okay. We're going to box you in. Well, now you're screwed. I mean, you've literally just boxed yourself in. You ain't going nowhere. It doesn't matter if you have Mirror Force. It don't matter. 2,800. Gee. You're literally screwed. Okay, is he gonna... Is that gonna be Raigeki? Oh, he's not even... Oh, okay. What was that? Yeah? Oh, Magician of Black Chaos, okay. Oh, you can fuse into it. Oh. That was not your destiny draw. Ain't no way. And Kariba, okay. What is your abilities? Not that many. Weaken specific type. Okay. Something's tasty. Well, anyway. GG's. So, the other thing I wanted to talk about, you may know if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you just seen the title of the stream. But seems I wasn't really sure how long this would actually take, this whole game, basically, because there's not really much left. I was thinking maybe we could stream the remaster for Croc Legend of the Goblins, because that came out the same day as Nintendo Direct for the Switch 2. And I don't know if that was just, like, intentional to you know, like, because, you know, it's coming out for Switch 2 as well, or Switch technically and all that, and I don't know, maybe they're trying to drum up interest, or whether that was a mistake, like an unintentional, like, oh, we released this game literally while everyone's looking forward to the Switch 2, you know, where everyone's eyes are glued on the Switch 2. I don't know, but I've been seeing a lot of positive praise on social media, and I haven't touched it yet because I've been busy. But also, I'm waiting to uh, I'm waiting to play the game really because my first experience will be for the most part a video. But I figured I could stream it and record it, use some of the footage. What I might do though is I might just remove my face cam if I am going to use it for footage. We'll see. Not too sure, but that face though. Anyway, I beat the King of Games. Anyway, I beat the King of Games. Yeah, he didn't even get the chance to use Mirror Force. I should have been way more aggressive, I guess. That was it. Yeah, all right, Seto. Yeah, so I guess we could, as we get into this and we wrap this game up, we're gonna talk about Nintendo Direct a little bit. So for those of you who didn't know, I live streamed it. I managed to find time to do that. I wasn't sure if I could. Use him duel after duel. Unforgivable. It's like I failed again. Yeah, anyway. Quiet mortal. This man fabulous. Oh my god, his deck cost is even higher than usual. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so I watched Nintendo Direct. The American, I just went to the American one because I saw it. It's funny. I don't know if it's just because no one gives a shit about the UK, or it's just like specifically it's American English commentary and there's just no British. I don't know what it's just. English is English, right? But anyway, there was English. There was like English translation, English voice translation for the American one, but then the American one I believe died. Like it started freezing, and I thought it was I thought it was me at first, but I looked at like the actual Nintendo chat itself, and everyone's like, "Uh-oh, something happened." And I've watched other people's reactions, and they're all saying the same thing. They're all watching the American one, and they're all shit to bed like halfway through. And it was just out of sync throughout most of it. I don't know what happened, but that was like, oh dear. And I had to like swap streams essentially. Apparently the UK one was okay, but there was translation, but it was just subtitles. There's no voicing for the English one. But I went. The problem with me, right, is that I need to play more Nintendo games. I did not grow up with Nintendo. I got into Nintendo late. I got into Nintendo with the GameCube, and that was towards the end of the GameCube's life cycle, where the Wii was not that far off coming out. So I was very late, and even then I haven't played many games. I did fall in love with Zelda thanks to Wind Waker though, and I became a Zelda fan. And I always say I'm a Zelda fan, really, more than a Nintendo fan, because I've hardly played any Nintendo games, because I grew up with Sony PlayStation, and so I've mostly been a PlayStation guy. I don't know if I'd call myself a PlayStation guy now. I'm more of a just, I'll play whatever interests me. If it happens to be on PlayStation, I'll probably get it for PlayStation. But if it's on Switch and I have it, I have a Switch or whatever, you know. And I was saying that, like, I need a reason. I need a reason to buy the Switch 2, because for me, because I'm a big Zelda fan, when Breath of the Wild was the literal launch title, I was like, I want to get a Switch, but I couldn't get one because of financial reasons. So, and I never got around to just trying to find time and money to save up and get one. I was, you know, using money for other things. Buying, I already had like the PlayStation 4 and other consoles. I was buying games for that, and I was like, I can't afford to buy this Switch right now. And as time went by, I was just kind of like, it's fine. I've got other games to play, and I just didn't think nothing of it. 7 years later, my sister bought it, and I was like, oh, I have one now. How funny. So yeah, another Nintendo console that I've gotten towards the end of its life cycle. 7 years. And then Tears of the Kingdom came out, and I was like, hey, I'm just in time for the next new Zelda game. It's a sequel to Breath of the Wild, and I ended up liking it more than Breath of the Wild. I played Breath of the Wild, and I ended up playing Tears of the Kingdom not long after. And yeah, my controversial opinion is that I actually like Tears of the Kingdom more than Breath of the Wild. I wasn't a 10 out of 10 like a lot of people with Breath of the Wild. I think for me, I realized that maybe I preferred the more linear traditional Zelda than the open world. But the open world was a neat idea, I'll give it that. It was definitely a different and unique experience for Zelda, and I like that they tried that, and it obviously was really well received. But I think for me, if anything, I thought to myself, man, I think I really preferred the more traditional 3D and 2D, but I'm more experienced with the 3D ones. But anyway, yeah, the Switch had already had me like, I want to get this because it's Breath of the Wild, it's Zelda, I'm gonna get it. In this time, it's Mario Kart, and Mario Kart is really good. I don't have an issue with Mario Kart. It's a kart racer. I like kart racers, right? You know, Crash Team Racing is my favorite kart racer, but Mario Kart, you can't go wrong with Mario Kart, right? You can't. And it looks really good. My problem, and it is my problem. This isn't even anything to do with Nintendo, really. It isn't. This is a me thing. Call it a skill issue or a life issue. I don't really have any friends to play with. And Mario Kart is definitely, well, you know, kart games in general really is the type of game. And I say that as I'll absolutely buy the new Sonic Racing game, even though I probably won't play with anyone. But it's one of those things where if I had people to play with, then I'd probably be way more like, oh yeah, I'm sure Mario Kart would be an incredibly fun time. But I'm also thinking, well, is the single player mode going to be good? Because if it isn't, then I'm probably not going to benefit much from this. For me, because I literally don't have people to play with. My family doesn't play video games. And the friends I do have are busy, and I don't really know. Like, I know like Jamie's more of a PC guy, so I don't even know if he's even going to get. I doubt he'll even get the Switch too. Leon doesn't really play games that much, and Marcus obviously has to be very careful with his money and stuff and whatnot, and so he doesn't have that many consoles or games either. So again, it's more of a skill life issue where it's like, hey, I could play Mario Kart, but I know I'd have way more fun if you know. Yeah, actually, this is fine. If I could play with friends or family. So it's just, but this is one of those things where I was like, I know it's going to be good, and it looks good. We knew it was coming out. But then they started doing the one thing I kind of hoped they wouldn't do. And they kind of started to introduce the techie side of things without really giving us like game, you know, like, hey, here's these techie things. Here's a game, like a potential new game or something with these techie things. Instead, it's just like, we're going to spend a while talking about our techie things. And like, some of it is neat, sure, but I'm also here for the games. They're not attacking. Interesting. You waiting for me to attack? You got Zero the Man, have you? Why aren't you attacking? It's very interesting. Yeah, so I was already like, and again, I don't have that Nintendo bias, because I didn't grow up with Nintendo, right? Now, don't get me wrong, there was a Hyrule Warriors game. and you'd think I'd be more interested, but I wasn't, mostly because even though the Hyrule Warriors game makes sense, right? Even though it makes sense. Oh no, it's gravity bind. Ooh, that's nasty. Ooh. Okay. Well, tell you what I'll do. I shall do this. And we'll try again. Maybe this is also a trap. Might be. Oh, it is. Is that another gravity bind? Oh, it's Mirror Force. Oh, you got me. You got me. Alright. If he just summons a monster, I'm probably dead. Right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm dead. Alright. To be fair, I wasn't paying enough attention. I was just rambling about Nintendo, so that's my fault. Dang. That's what I get for not paying attention. Well, at least I now know that he has Mirror Force. That motherfucker Yugi, man. He must have took it from him. Fucking Yami Yugi. Anyway, whatever. You know what that means? You could suck a dick. Man Fabulous. Right. I like calling him Man Fabulous. Anyway, so yeah, so I when I was thinking about it, I was like, do I sound pessimistic? Because that's not what I want to sound. I don't want to sound like some like hardcore Sony fan, because I'm not a hardcore Sony fan. You know, I might have been back in the day, but I ain't now. Because even I guess with the magic cards, doesn't it, or something? I forget what that does. Oh, cancels all spellbind power increases and destroys all face up trap cards. Oh. Ooh. Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah, I was just like, should I sound more interested? Because I want to. But anyway, we have this whole game chat they spend a long time on. You know, they sell a camera with it. It's like, yeah, all right. This doesn't appeal to me. But this could be a thing for families or casual gaming fans or whatever. You know, you got your family friend feature, you know, for the casuals. But like, I can't see streamers using it. It's literally a built-in Discord, and you have to pay for it. But not immediately. But you still have to pay for it. But not immediately. Will this work? It should do. He says. No, it doesn't work. I can't reset either. Damn. Alright. Is that regular Zoa? I think it is, yeah. So they did all that. You know, they're like, hey, look, we finally caught up with our tech. Which again is, it's great that that's the case. It is. I don't want to do this. Put you at the back here. You know, frame rate supports some 4K, supports you know, you like finally got like, should we have solid 1080p? I'm definitely interested to see, like, you know, games like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom running a lot smoother finally. That is nice. But you know, they did the whole like, look at all these third-party stuff coming to the Switch too. But I kind of expected that already. If anything, I would have been surprised if they didn't do it. I'd be like, Nintendo, you love money. What are you doing? It makes sense, right? You're putting all this stuff on it. It's still very impressive that you managed to get Elden Ring, even though Elden Ring didn't look like it was running too well in that demonstration. But we'll have to see going forward how some of these games are, because like they got 7 Remake, and you know I love 7 Remake. Am I gonna buy it again though for the Switch too? I doubt it. I'm still thinking about whether I can justify even getting the console at the moment, because I'll be honest, there isn't anything crazy, not really, that I'm like, oh, I definitely need to get this day one. Because again, if I had friends to play with a Mario Kart, then maybe, because I kind of feel like they're potentially banking on Mario Kart for a little while before stuff come out. There was a new a 3D Donkey Kong game, which actually looks very interesting. As like the one thing, I mean, you know, I love 3D platformers, and I was like, maybe this is the day. Maybe this is a Donkey Kong game that I get into. Like, ooh, banana, like, ooh, yeah. That did look legit interesting, but getting one game, I don't know. Then again, I have done that before. I'm not proud of it, but I have done it. I have. Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Oh, you're too weak. No. Fuck. Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine. What am I talking about? Oh, no, you're not. Yeah, Mirror Falls, of course. I keep forgetting. I'm such a numbnuts, dude. I'm distracted by the conversation. Anyway, yeah. The only other thing that I guess was a big deal was there's a new Air Rider game. Again, haven't really played much of Kirby. I didn't realize it was that long ago since an Air Ride game. I don't even know really much about Air Ride. I think it might be a Kirby racing game or something, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's do this. But anyway, yeah, that was cool. There was a Hyrule Warriors game, and it was Tears of the Kingdom, and what they're doing makes sense, and you think I'd be more interested, but here's the thing. It's something I've realized. They did the same thing for Breath of the Wild, and I get the idea behind it, and I think like it could potentially be a good idea. I think for me though, what I liked about Hyrule Warriors, the first game, was that it was kind of doing its own thing, its own story. It's almost like a celebration of Zelda with bringing like its history. You know, there's a bunch of different Zelda characters, Ocarina of Time, Skyward Sword, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, from across like the 3D ones and stuff. Even potential references to like Link to the Past, and with like Hilda costumes and all sorts of costumes, all this and that. Again, like I said, it kind of felt like a whole like a Zelda warrior, a Dynasty Warriors, but with Zelda, and it's just like in a way almost like a love letter. With just, like I say, costumes, references, all the different like gadgets that Links have, weapons, and getting to play as like a Zelda technically for the first time, right? And have her actually fight, and then play all these other characters as well for the first time. You know, like playing all these Zelda, Zelda world characters is really cool. Getting to play around as Ganondorf and stuff, you know, really cool stuff. And it was doing its own thing, and it was jam packed with stuff. I haven't played Age of Calamity. I haven't played it. But I more or less... I got the gist of what happened thanks to Breath of the Wild. Don't get me wrong, the way they handle the story in Breath of the Wild is shit. And it's not great in Tears of the Kingdom either, but I do think it's a bit better. I definitely felt a bit more engaged with the story in Tears of the Kingdom, but with Breath of the Wild, it just kind of felt like it was an issue with it being an open world, where it's just kind of like the story almost felt non-existent. It was hard for me to really care about the story, because at times I was like, "There's a story." Anyway, the story for me was kill Ganondorf or kill Ganon. It's like, fair enough. We always do that. It's Zelda 1, right? Kill Ganon. Just figure it out, you know? And it's like, fair enough. Like, this is what this is. This is an open world game. That, like, sure, whatever. Like, it makes sense, but it's also not an original story. It's just kind of like, hey, you get to see what happened proper now. And again, like, I get the idea, it makes sense. And now they're doing the same for Tears of the Kingdom when Zelda goes into the past. Just like spoiler, I guess. And I can't help but wonder if it would have been better if it was just kind of like just like a DLC expansion of Tears of the Kingdom. I know they said they weren't gonna do it, and I guess this is them being like, sorry, we're not gonna do Tears of the Kingdom DLC, but here's a Hyrule Warriors game based on the game. It's like, oh, okay. But again, I think Hyrule Warriors worked better because it was just doing its own thing. It was own original story. We get like a Hyrule Warriors designed Ganondorf. Like he had his own unique design, and Link had his own unique design. Oh, fucking love Zelda's design in Hyrule Warriors. My god, dude. She gives off like Xena Warrior Princess shit. Fucking amazing, dude. God. Girl looks beautiful and elegant and kicking absolute ass, and I'm like, hey, yo. Like, this Zelda is, oh, mwah. Love it. Warrior Princess. Love it. Anyway. Yeah, and then we get some new characters, Sia and was it Lana or whatever, and they're fine. They're fine. But anyway, I just think it would have been for me. It would have been way more interesting of a Zelda game if, and this is just this is obviously just my opinion. If I'm not sure what to do here actually. I'm just thinking if. This is tricky, actually. He's cut off with Crush Card, so I'm not really sure what to do here. Will he attack me if I go on here? I don't know. Maybe he will. We'll just do this, I guess. Anyway, yeah, like, I personally would have preferred to just like play as Zelda, and I was like, again, a 3D Zelda game, a 3D game we play in the Zelda, but just have it like just Tears of the Kingdom. Just it's an expansion, it's a DLC. You get to play that portion, but not in the Hyrule Warriors style. And someone could say, well, Zelda doesn't play as Link. Link's not there. No, he's not. But Raru is. And they obviously clearly show that, like, I guess he uses a spear or something. And I'm like, Link in Tears of the Kingdom, right? He has basically Raru's abilities. So I feel like you could just technically say that Raru is the Link in this, the Link equivalent, right? In this situation, he's the Link equivalent. Because you could just have him just, like, use a spear or whatever instead. And then just do the abilities more or less that Link has or something, right? But then you can also play as Zelda and have her do magic support or something like that. Or I don't know. I again, it makes sense, but I think I prefer the original. I prefer the original Hyrule Warriors because it was doing its own thing, and again, it was doing its own thing, its own story. It was a celebration. It was a history of like all the 3D Zelda games and other Zelda games and all this and that. Again, it was just a lot of fan service. This is just, hey, remember that whole past story thing that was in flashbacks? Here's a game about it, so you get more of that story. Like, from a story standpoint, that's cool. But someone was saying that, like, I could play this game, and I'm sure it would be fun because, Warriors games can be fun. Not everybody likes Warriors games, but it can be fun. But at the same time, I could also probably just wait until this game comes out and someone will upload the cutscenes if I just want to see the story. And I can't help but feel like that too. But I might have been more inclined if it was like a DLC expansion, Tears of the Kingdom. You play as Raru and Zelda, and it's not Hyrule Warriors. Personally. So I wasn't super hyped because, again, like, if they do a Hyrule Warriors 2, that again is more of like its own unique story, I might be more inclined. But they really like this damn Breath of the Wild engine, dude. It is time to move on, in my opinion. It's time to move on, you know. It is time to move on, in my opinion. But that's just me. It's time to move on. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't expecting a new 3D Zelda game yet, but that's kind of what I'm waiting for. I think. Yeah. Outside of that, I mean, there wasn't really anything else I was interested in because everything else was just third party, and everything that I'm already playing, all the third party stuff I'm already playing. You know, so it didn't do a lot for me. I guess I really am just kind of waiting for the Nintendo games. And a lot of it was just kind of like, you can play these Switch games and upgrade them. But you have to pay for it, and it's like, oh, okay. You know, again, I like the look of the DK. I legit did. Just don't know if I can justify getting that and that alone, if that's the only thing I'm going to play. Because again, I'm not going to re-buy third-party stuff personally. I barely got enough money as it is finance-wise. I have to be very picky with what I buy and get and save and whatnot. And I want to experience more Nintendo stuff. And honestly, sometimes the online can be quite helpful for that for me, because I can, you know, somewhat budget pay for the Nintendo Online, pay 7 or 8 quid or whatever, a month or whatever, whenever I want to use it. And then I could like try these old games and try to see if I can gain some interest into these older games. And then if I do like any of them, maybe I might want to try a more newer one or something, you know? Again, I'm trying to get into it, but when I want to like buy physical stuff with Nintendo games just don't go down in price, you know. It's kind of ridiculous. And then of course, after the stream, I learned that Nintendo is apparently charging people crazy amounts of money for their games, like $70 to $80 to $90, and it's like 70 quid, 80 quid. I ain't paying that. You insane? They lost their goddamn marbles. I ain't paying that. No idea what the hell's going on there. No idea. Absolutely no idea. No Mirror Force yet. Real strange and concerning, to be honest. So yeah, I'm just like, hey, I want to see Nintendo games. And they're like, here you go. Here's 4 games and a bunch of old games that are getting enhanced. But again, you also have to pay for it. Also, here's a weird gimmick for your mouse control with the Joy-Cons. Also, it doesn't come with a desk, because that was basically my tagline from it all. I was like, so my reaction could be summed up with, does it come with a desk? Because I don't understand how you're going to use the Joy-Cons in such a way. Am I supposed to rub it on my leg? Did Nintendo just expect us to have desks? I can't be using my computer desk. I'm using it for my computer. I doubt it's gonna work well on my bed. Where am I gonna be rubbing this shit? Where am I gonna use it as a mouse? Nintendo and their gimmicks. Don't get me wrong, some of their gimmicks can be fun, right? But I don't know about this whole mouse thing. I don't know how they expect people to use it. I really don't. But what sort of surfaces, you know? Also, people were saying, is this really gonna be okay? Like, is this not gonna like grind the Joy-Cons into dust over time? I don't know. Is it gonna damage them? I don't know. I really don't know. So, but sadly, I went online and I see a bunch of people being like, if you don't like this, then you just don't like games. And I'm like, you're right, I don't like games. because I don't know, man. I don't know. again, I'm not a Nintendo fan. I don't know if it's Nintendo fan bias, but I haven't really seen anyone kind of being like, hey, yeah, that direct was not that great. Everyone's kind of like, that direct was amazing. And I'm like, okay, if you think about like getting all this third party stuff on the Nintendo Switch 2 is really good, and it's even more impressive if they all run. And it's great that these older Switch games that probably ran like absolute booty cheeks, you know, potentially will now run finally at smooth 60 frames, and some games are getting 120 frames per second. That will be interesting, right? But a lot of it is mostly just, we knew this was coming. We knew this was coming. It's good that this is on it. It should be on it. Again, all this third party stuff, and I'm like, this is fantastic that they're on it. But it means nothing to me personally because I'm already playing on my third parties. I'm not gonna play anything on this. I can't see myself playing anything else on the Switch 2 that I ain't already playing on the PS5 already anyway, or PC or whatever, you know. So it's just one of those things where like it doesn't benefit me. I'm just here to see the new stuff, and there wasn't really much of that. So I overall was just kind of like didn't really do it for me. I think I'm the only one. So yeah, I was saying like no one. That's why probably no one wanted to watch my stream because they were like, this guy's a miserable bug. He doesn't like Nintendo stuff, and it's like, well, it's not that I don't like Nintendo stuff, but it's just. Please understand. It's just, I don't know. I need to see more brand new Nintendo IPs. You know, and I'm not even just talking about Zelda. Like, we ain't getting a new Mario game yet, which I thought was quite surprising. Everyone thought it was going to be 3D Mario, but it's actually Donkey Kong. So, you know, that's still neat. Again, that's still neat, but yeah. Anyway, I think I'm alone. I think I'm the only one who's sounding like a miserable bugger when it comes to do I kill you here? I do. With the Switch 2 and that. Again, I want to like it. Not like I hate it or anything, it's just one of those things, you know. It's just one of those things where I'm like, at the moment, not sure if it's really doing it for me. But I have considered getting the console anyway. Hello, Footloose. Because it might be an issue where it might be like the PS5, where the Switch 2 is going to sell out like crazy. But what if they just have a hard time getting more stock in, and no one can fucking get it? And then the scalpers are going to come in, and it's going to be the PlayStation 5 all over again. And I don't want to be in a situation where if a new Zelda game does come out in like a year or something, and then of course I'm going to want it because I'm going to want to play the Zelda game because I'm a sheep. Unless the Zelda game really doesn't look that interesting. You know what I mean? But I'll play most of them. Again, I'm a Zelda fan, not a Nintendo fan. I wouldn't say I'm not there yet. I've played Metroid. I played like Super Metroid and I played Metroid Dread, and I thought those games were really good, and I was like, yo, I think I might be getting into Metroid. This is cool. But I'm not there with Prime or anything yet. But for the longest time, I was a Zelda fan and a Pokemon fan because I never got to experience Pokemon, but I grew up with the anime, and then I eventually played it through Pokemon Coliseum, and then yeah, I got into it later. Anyway, so I'm mostly Zelda. I dabbled in Pokemon. I don't play Pokemon as much these days, but I probably will get Pokemon Legends. Anyway, we good here? Yeah, we're good. Yeah, anyway, the prices are ridiculous. That can't stay that way. It can't. It ain't no way. Ain't no way that the prices stay like that. Surely not. You know? Surely not. But I don't know. I don't know. But yeah. Long story short, Direct didn't do it for me. I'm just hoping for some new stuff. new stuff's not coming yet. You know, there isn't enough new stuff again, and because I don't have that connection with Nintendo, I don't have that connection with Kirby Air Rider. I didn't feel anything, and I didn't know. I legit didn't know. I was like, oh, like I had heard of Kirby Air Ride, but I didn't realize how many years it had been. I was like, oh, like if there's a new Smash Bros, I'm there, right? When they eventually, if they do it, I think people are expecting that Sakurai's gonna have to do it, right? Or if it isn't Sakurai, somebody else will do it. I feel like it's inevitable, right? But I guess it just didn't really do it for me. A lot of it was just kind of like, yeah, that's expected. That's great. Doesn't do anything for me personally, but it's good that it's here. Like, it's good that all this third party stuff is here now. That's great. That's good. I love Tears of the Kingdom. I enjoyed Breath of the Wild. Again, I've already said my controversial opinion about that. And yeah, it's great that they're getting an upgrade, but do I really want to pay for 60 frames per second, basically, and it looking a bit prettier? Not really. I'll be honest, I feel like it should be a free upgrade, or it should be really cheap. And to be honest, I don't actually know how much it costs. And it's because it seems they're releasing like a pack, like an upgrade pack, and I think you might have to buy separate packs for these games. And I'm like, how much is all, if you want to like upgrade 5 games, how much is that all gonna cost? Like, even if it's just like £10, if you're doing that 5 times, that's 50 quid, dude. I don't want to pay 50 quid to upgrade 5 games, personally. I don't. That's probably going to be more than that. It's probably going to be like 20 quid per pack. I don't know. It seems absolutely ridiculous what Nintendo's doing with the pricing right now. It is insane. How is it that Nintendo's like, we just dropped our new Switch 2, which totally doesn't feel like a Switch Pro. Yeah, I said it. It basically might as well be a Switch Pro. Or is this the PS3 to the PS4? Because it ain't the PS4 to the PS5. It's more like this is the PS4. That's what kind of what the Switch 2 feels like. It feels like it's like the PS4 or like the PS4 Pro. You know what I mean? But anyway, how is it that Nintendo's like, you know, we got like 50 to 60 quid PlayStation 5 games. Nintendo's out here, it's like, hold my beer, 70 quid, 80 quid. I'm like, excuse me? Like, I know that Nintendo are greedy assholes, but Jesus fucking Christ. They're even more greedy assholes than I thought. The Switch 2 is going to sell out anyway. They're going to do really, really well. Again, it's just... It feels so scummy and cheeky, right? And you know one of the things that made me laugh, right? They've got this like tech demo game, and a lot of people were being like, "Oh, it's like Astro's Playroom, but way less interesting." Astro's Playroom was free. It was kind of a big deal because we essentially got a free 3D platformer with the PlayStation 5, and it was really good for what it was. And it literally was just like a very fun way to demonstrate what the PS5 could do. That was how you do it, right? It was a fun way to demonstrate the PS5, right, as a fun little 3D platformer, and also, you know, a celebration of PlayStation in general with like its peripherals, references to various different games that came out. And, you know, and then we got Astrobot later on that took that even further. And then Nintendo's like, we're going to release this tech demo that's way less interesting and can be the equivalent of you go into the game and you read a digital instruction. Do you want to know how magnets work? How do magnets work, Nintendo? And you just reading how they works with a little image. I'm like, I'm not really sure who's the target audience for. It's literally like a tech system. Again, it's the easiest way to say is that it's kind of like Astro's Playroom, but way less interesting. Now, it does look like it has like a couple of little like mini game stuff, But again, it just doesn't seem very interesting. And again, if you're gonna have your like, hey, let's demonstrate what we want to make a game that demonstrates what, like, to me, Astrobot was the perfect way to do it. Like, they nailed it. Like, what a good idea. What a good way to demonstrate your system. Right? What a great way. Nintendo is just like, we're just gonna do it, but it's way less interesting, and we're gonna charge you for it. Astro's Playroom was free, and Nintendo's like, we're greedy. I'm sure someone will buy it. Who's the target audience? Yeah, that's the one thing I think is universal, is that almost everyone is in an uproar with Nintendo overpricing games and charging for things which should be free. But in terms of the Direct, most people I see online are just praising it up to high hell, and I'm like, oh well, I guess I'm alone. I am alone. Oh, Mirrorball. Okay. Do I still lose here? So yeah, that happened. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is when they release a new Zelda game, I'm there. That isn't Hyrule Warriors, because that isn't like Breath of the Wild again. Please, I'm tired. Please. I'm tired. You know? I'm tired. I'm assuming you haven't seen much, if any, of the Nintendo Direct stuff for the Switch 2 Footloose. I just want to get my quick thoughts on it, because, you know, I would admit I do feel like I was kind of being sarky and almost taking the pee out of it, because there are a lot of things where I was just like, yeah, okay, and also you're spending way too much on this, and none of them are games. Oh, ooh, wait, what? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? The AI is dumb. Why would you do that? But why though? Why would you do that? Anyway, so I'm going to do this, because you're weak anyway. What? He literally could have controlled one of my monsters and attacked me, because I didn't realize he had changed of heart. And he chose to go for the trap. What? You know, people were memeing on the Switch, being like, "Oh yeah, Nintendo Switch. We promise we have games." And to me, I'm honestly like, Nintendo Switch 2. We promise we have games. They do have games. It's just that 90% of them at the moment are just third-party games that are already out on other systems. But they have games, and they're gonna have most of these games on launch. Again, that's great. But if you're already playing this stuff elsewhere, do you really want to buy them again just to have something to play? Or are you good with Mario Kart for a while? For like a year or so? And again, unless you really like everything, because I don't think they had a release window for Kirby Air Ride. I don't think, right? So we don't know. That's being developed, but I don't think we know anything else about it. But like the new DK, right? I'd play it, but I don't know if I justify paying £400 just to play that, right? I don't know about that. You know the funny thing about all this though, the whole like Mario Kart being like $80 or $90 or whatever. So it seems that if you get the bundle, it's actually way cheaper. So the Nintendo Switch 2 is being charged at £400, I believe, $400 roughly. But if you get the bundle with Mario Kart, it's actually like $450. Even though if you buy it separately, it's like $80 to $90. It's like, what? it's basically roughly £30 cheaper, 30 to £40 cheaper to get Mario Kart with the bundle. It's basically 50 quid, £50, $50 on top of the Switch. So 450. Yeah, separate. It's like, yeah, we're just gonna charge 80-90. That's like. Also, it's £10, $10 more expensive if you buy physical. We're cooked, Footloose. Nintendo's like, you want to buy physical? We're charging you £10 more for it. It's cheaper to get it digitally. Nah, man. Switch 2 ain't doing it for me at the moment. It just ain't doing it for me, man. Anyway, I've been rambling for far too long. Mirror ain't gonna save you, buddy. I still win. GG's. Yugi was harder. And so was I. Oh, sorry. Look at my giant snake. You just missed it. Bye, Nintendo. You ain't getting my money. Woo. Oh, wait. Yeah, I wanted to get that, actually. Bye, Nintendo. It doesn't matter, Footloose, because people are going to buy all this shit anyway. Like, you know, people are complaining, including myself. People are still going to buy it. Nintendo shoo-ins, right? The sheep, they're all going to buy it anyway. They're going to moan about it. And be like, I don't want to pay $90, but I guess I will. Right? Again, that bundle is going to be gone so quickly. Dude, I actually looked at Amazon to see if you could pre-order on the Switch 2. And the only one that's on there is the Switch 2 without the bundle. And I saw something on Amazon that I've never seen before. And I don't know if this is new or not, but I've never seen it before personally. I looked at it and you can't buy it and you can't pre-order it. What was it? It said like, ask for a link invite, and I was like, huh? Ask for a link invite? I'm so confused. And I read what is this? I'm so confused. And basically, Amazon's doing this thing because they know that the Nintendo Switch that bitch will sell out fast. That it seems like they're randomly selecting Amazon users, I guess. They're randomly, basically, you ask for an invite, and I was told that if I get selected, I will get a link or something. I guess, I don't know if it's just to do with the Switch, the link to the Switch 2 or to pre-order or something like that. If I get selected, and they're saying because this console is going to be in super high demand, they're like, I don't know, trying to make it fair by randomly choosing people. It's weird. I'm like, has Amazon ever done this before? So yeah, so I just did it because I just wanted to see. I mean, I probably won't even get it, and to be honest, if I don't get it on release date, again, there's nothing outside of maybe that Donkey Kong game which I can live. I'll play it eventually. For me personally, that makes me go like, oh, I definitely need to get this day one. You know, it's just, I just hope that a year or two, when I do want to pick it up, I can still pick it up. You know, that's all. Let's hope it's not another PS5 situation, but I think it will be. The Wii was just as bad. I never bought one of your consoles, but buy Nintendo. People will buy it, but still complain. Absolutely. It's like with Pokemon fans. Pokemon fans always complain about how bad the Pokemon games are, but they still buy them. And that's the problem, right? That is kind of the problem, right? That is kind of the issue in itself, because it's like, the thing is, if you still buy the shit, then you're not really encouraging Nintendo to actually try to change and improve and be better, because you know what I mean? if you buy it anyway and they still sell anyway, then are you really telling them that they're doing something bad? You're just saying that, hey, you're gonna buy it anyway. This game wasn't well received, still sold so many million copies though. You know. Anyway, we beat Yugi, Duelist of The Roses Redux, and yeah, we did it. I'll let the credits play again while we chat, right? While we chat, and then I'll give my thoughts on Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of The Roses, the mod as well and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. I personally do feel like a lot of people's hype is Nintendo bias. I think that them just like, at least in my opinion, them growing up, you know, long-time Nintendo fans, I can see why that they're at least somewhat happy and excited. Like, everyone's just like, Mario Kart's gonna be amazing. And it's like, yeah, it is. Of course it is. If you have people to play with. You know, which I guess, I don't know, perhaps most Nintendo fans do have people to play with. Yes, I know you can play online, and people will play online anyway. I don't like online, so again, that's just like a, you know, I miss the days of just playing locally with friends when we actually had time and could actually meet up. I just don't have many friends, you know. That's what I'm waiting for though. I'm just waiting for more new Nintendo IPs themselves, because Mario Kart isn't really doing it for me personally as a single player guy. I don't know. Maybe it'll have an amazing single player and it might be worth my time. I don't know. Maybe in a year I'll get friends and it'll be worth my time. I don't know. Maybe I can get my, maybe if my nephew gets a bit older, I can play with him. I don't know. Yeah, the Hyrule Warriors isn't really doing it for me. I feel like I've kind of got what I want out of the story from Tears of the Kingdom, and I love Tears of the Kingdom. I thought it was a fantastic game. I don't like the fact that I have to upgrade it to make it run better. I've played Tears of the Kingdom so much though that I don't know if I'm going to go back to it anytime soon, because it is a long game. Same with Breath of the Wild. It's like, do I really want to mess with that game? Not right now, because it's a very long game. It's a very long game. Both of them are, and it's quite the experience. It should just be free, in my opinion, man. You know, I remember when they released Final Fantasy VII Remake, I always find a way to turn it back to Final Fantasy VII. I remember buying it on the PS4, and then when they said that they were releasing this upgraded version with the Yuffie DLC on PS5, I was like, do we have to pay for this upgrade? And they were like, nope, if you have the PS4 version already, you can just upgrade it. And it's like, oh my god, hallelujah. We got is it Santa Monica, God of War? They gave God of War Ragnarok a free DLC roguelike mode, and it's amazing. It's free content, and it's incredible. It's got its own little side story in that, character development for Kratos, and it's free, dude. Astrobot, they keep releasing free levels to that game. Here's Nintendo being like, I'm gonna charge you for a way less interesting Astrobot. Huh? What? Huh? Nintendo, Jesus, you're not doing it for me at the moment, man. Let me tell you. What I'm trying to tell you guys, that it's going to be another 7 years. It's going to be another 7 years before I get the Switch too. Pretty much. Maybe my sister will buy it for me in another 7 years when I'm in my 40s. God, I don't even want to think about being 40. Yeah, I will actually be 40 on the dot. I will actually be 40. Christ. My life is such a joke right now that I don't even want to think about where I'm going to be in 7 years, dude. Fuck. Anyway, that's depressing. But yeah. Anyway, I think I've said what I need to said for now. I think with Nintendo, but let me wrap up. Let me wrap my thoughts on Duelist of the Roses. So, I think this mod was neat. I do. It wasn't as heavily altered as like that Yugi Forbidden Memories 2 mod sort of thing. It was neat though. I appreciate that, you know, it was a somewhat new experience, and I really enjoyed that. Like I said, my only issue, well, kind of two. I don't know if I like that you're kind of forced to play one specific. Well, not okay, maybe not forced, but you're heavily pushed towards one side. It should be a choice. But the fact that they're like, well, you could go to the other side, but you're gonna really struggle because we've designed it to do the other side, and it's like, well, maybe just take the choice away. I don't know. It's just one of those things. Again, it's minor, but it's just one of those things. We're just gonna keep hearing this, aren't we? Hang on a sec. I think I know how to stop it. Let me get a custom duel real quick. We'll leave it on that. I don't like that they basically removed a bunch of cards on the slots, making it way harder to actually get cards now, and you have to rely on grinding for reincarnation, and reincarnation is random. It just makes it really hard to get cards. Also, out of the starter decks I had, they weren't very good, but I think that was the point. I think they were supposed to be harder. One thing I will say that is good though is that leveling up deck leaders is way easier, and you can actually get abilities now. So that was one improvement I liked. Overall, it was a decent mod, but there were some things I wasn't the biggest fan of. Again, I appreciate some of these some of these I say enemies, but you know what I mean. Some of these opponents have gimmicky decks. The whole Mirror Force shit. The whole Mirror Force shit was ridiculous with Yugi, and I find it so funny that the second time that I prepped for him and I kind of play around it, I don't think he got it out once. I was just super aggressive, and he just ran. It was kind of funny, and then he boxed himself in. I was like, what is going on? That honestly summed up my entire playthrough. I lose, I come back better. Then the opponents just don't wipe the floor with me anymore. They just stop doing whatever they were doing before. It's so funny. It's just like, all right, sure, whatever. You gave me trouble before, but now I'm beating you in like 3 turns. But all right, I didn't even do anything. I didn't even do much, but you know. Anyway, a neat experience. Just wish there were some things that weren't with this mod. You know, yeah. I hadn't even looked into like other decks. I know that apparently there's some new added fusions, which is really cool. I did see one. I saw that you can fuse Dark Magician with Karibo to get Magician of Chaos. Clearly, some of this difficulty must have been inspired by Forbidden Memories, because now you can just summon a lot of these ritual cards like Blackluster Soldier. Like, it's literally Forbidden Memories. Like, hey, I can just summon Blackluster Soldier from my hand now. I can just summon Gate Guardian. I don't need a ritual anymore. It's like, alright. It's like, Jesus, okay. And apparently, I think I read that you can obtain every card. I don't know if that means I can actually get my own Blackluster Soldier in card as well as a Gate Guardian in card. I don't know. But I read that you could, so could be something worth exploring further if I want to collect more cards. But it's just the whole fact that slot machines feel almost pointless in this game because so many cards are now omitted, you know. But maybe I don't want to grind several duels just to reincarnate into 3 random cards that I may not even like. But, you know, it's fine because I'm using an emulator I can re-roll. So, I don't know. Again, I'll say it's decent. I think it was a decent mod. It was fun. So, okay. Here's my suggestion to you lot. We don't have too much time anyway. Let me swap over to the camera real quick. we don't have to do this, but I was thinking, should I play a little bit of the Croc remaster with you guys? I haven't played it yet. I haven't touched it. Again, it's because I'm waiting to do a video on it. So I will probably set it up in a video format, and so I can make like notes and whatnot. Because obviously I will be doing a video. I did recently upload my Croc retrospective, where we basically look back at the original before we look into the new one. So I did a whole video on that. It took way too long to come out, but I finally got it out. And I will eventually get through the remaster and do a video on that at some point, sooner or later. But it won't be the next video. I'll be, you know, I'll have a break, because I don't want to do Croc back to back. I don't think that's gonna do very well. So I'll do done Croc. I'll do another video or two, and then Croc will come soon. The remaster will come soon. Other than that, if not, we could just either chill, talk about random stuff, or I could just call it there. Just say, yeah, that's it. Let's wrap the stream up. Because I didn't think it would take all stream for me to beat this. I didn't think it would. So yeah, I'm fine with either, really. I had a bit of a funny thing with the whole release with Croc. It wouldn't turn up on the PlayStation Store. And then Ryan, he helped me out and was like, it's on the app, because there's an app on your phone that you can get for the PlayStation Store. And I was like, it's on the app. And I kept looking, and at first I said it was PS4, and then someone else said, oh, you know, if you press a button it will come up as PS5. And I was like, for some reason, I don't know why, but on the actual PlayStation, on the PlayStation 5, and you go on the store, it kept saying like wishlist Croc or something, or it will be available soon. I just couldn't purchase it. And so I thought, I was like, is it just not coming yet? And a bunch of people were saying like, when's it coming to PS5? Because a lot of people were like, I can't find it. What's going on? And they were just like, oh, hey, it's coming out in waves. I'm like, it's a digital. We're paying for the digital game. Why is it coming out in waves? Why isn't it just released all at once? What? Weird. But anyway, went on the store app store on my phone for the first time. I've never actually done it this way, and I bought it off of that, and I downloaded it that way. And then it connected to my PS5, and it installed on my PS5 that way. And I was like, that was such a weird roundabout way. Why didn't it just work on the actual store on the PS5? I could not tell you. Maybe it's bugged. I don't know. It was really weird. Yeah, Croc. Okay. Okay. We don't have too long, right? But I will need to get it set up. Because I need to like boot up my PS5 in that. So what I will say is, I'll probably come back in about maybe 5 minutes. So we're going to have a quick break. You guys are more than welcome to grab something to eat, grab something to drink, go to a loo, stretch your legs. I might go and stretch my legs for a little bit. And then when we come back, we will have a look at this remaster, my first impressions. Let's see what's changed and what's improved, shall we? So that'll be fun. So yeah, I'll see you guys in about 5 minutes or so. Oh, oh dear. Eh, hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. Oh, bollocks. Oh no! I know what's going on.